Anger feels powerful in the moment. It makes your heart race. It makes your voice louder. It makes you feel dominant. But what if I told you that every time you explode in anger, you are not displaying strength, but surrender? Surrender to impulse. Surrender to ego. Surrender to something that controls you more than you control it. Most people believe anger is caused by other people, by disrespect, by betrayal, by unfairness. But the Stoics believed something different. Anger is a decision that happens inside you long before it shows on your face. And if you understand that secret, you can master it. More than 2,000 years ago, a Roman philosopher wrote an entire work called On Anger. He did not write it for slaves or soldiers. He wrote it for leaders, because he believed anger is the most dangerous emotion for someone who wants power over their life. He described anger as a temporary madness. Think about that. Madness. When you are angry, you say things you regret, make decisions you later wish you could undo. In that moment, your reasoning mind steps aside, and your emotional impulse takes control. Seneca taught that anger does not appear instantly, it grows in stages. First, there is an impression. Someone insults you. Someone ignores you. Something goes wrong. That is the first spark. Then comes judgment. You tell yourself, this is unacceptable. This is disrespect. This should not happen to me. And finally comes consent. We allow the anger to take over. Most people believe the spark is the problem. But the Stoic secret is that the judgment is the real cause. Imagine a modern situation. You send a message and the person reads it, but does not reply. Immediately, your mind begins telling a story. They are ignoring me. They do not value me. They're disrespecting me. Within minutes, your mood changes. But what are the facts? The only fact is that a message was seen. Everything else is interpretation. Seneca would say you are adding fuel to a tiny flame until it becomes a fire. Another example. You are driving and someone cuts you off in traffic. Your body reacts instantly. Your hands tighten on the steering wheel. Your jaw locks. You feel heat rising in your chest, but pause for a moment. What exactly happened? A car changed lanes dangerously. That is all. The rest is your interpretation. You assume the driver is careless. You assume they insulted you personally. You assume this act deserves your rage, yet they may not even know you exist. The Stoic method begins with delay. Seneca advised postponing your reaction, not suppressing anger, but delaying it. He believed time weakens emotion. When you feel anger rising, do not speak immediately. Do not send the message. Do not make the call. Step away, take a walk, drink water, let the first wave pass. Because anger burns brightest at the beginning. There is a reason why people regret words spoken in anger. In that moment, they are not thinking about long-term consequences. They are chasing short-term satisfaction. Anger promises relief. It whispers that shouting will make you feel better. That revenge will restore balance. But Seneca warned that anger punishes you more than your enemy. It disturbs your peace, clouds your judgment. It damages your reputation. In the workplace, anger often appears as frustration. A colleague criticizes your work. A boss questions your decision. Instead of viewing it as feedback, you interpret it as attack. Now your ego is involved. You respond defensively. The conversation becomes tense. Relationships weaken. But what if you practiced the Stoic pause? What if instead of reacting, you asked a simple question? Is there truth in this criticism, even if it was delivered poorly? That single shift turns anger into growth. In relationships, anger is even more destructive. Words spoken during arguments can echo for years. Seneca believed that the best way to reduce anger is to lower your expectations of others. Not to become pessimistic, but realistic. People are imperfect. They forget. They disappoint. They act from ignorance. When you expect perfection, you guarantee frustration. When you accept human weakness, you protect your peace. Another powerful lesson from Seneca is perspective. He encouraged imagining how small most conflicts are in the larger view of life. The insult that feels unbearable today will seem insignificant in a year. The argument that feels intense now will fade with time. When you zoom out mentally, you shrink the power of anger. Think about how often anger comes from wounded pride. Someone corrects you in public. Someone succeeds where you failed. Someone challenges your authority. The real pain is not the event, but the damage to your self-image. Seneca advised training humility. Remind yourself that you are not perfect, that you will make mistakes. Criticism does not destroy your worth. When ego weakens, anger loses fuel. There is also a practical exercise. At the end of each day, review moments when you felt anger. Ask yourself what belief was threatened. Was it your need for respect? Your need for control? Your need to be right? Awareness of patterns reduces future reactions. Over time, you begin to recognize triggers before they explode. Modern life constantly tempts anger. Social media arguments, political debates, online comments. People you have never met can influence your mood for hours. Seneca would likely advise detachment. Not every opinion deserves your response. Not every insult requires defense. Silence is often the strongest answer. Controlling anger does not mean becoming passive. It means choosing strategic response over emotional reaction. Correction is needed, deliver it calmly. Boundaries must be set, communicate them clearly. Calm firmness is far more powerful than emotional aggression. Imagine two leaders. One shouts when frustrated. The other speaks slowly and maintains eye contact. Which one commands more respect? Which one appears stronger? The calm leader understands something fundamental. Emotional control signals confidence. Reactivity signals insecurity. The Stoic secret to controlling anger is simple but difficult. Separate the event from your judgment. Delay your reaction. Lower unrealistic expectations. Practice humility. Zoom out in perspective. Reflect daily. These habits transform anger from master to messenger. Instead of controlling you, it informs you. You will still feel anger. That is human, but you will not be ruled by it. And when you are no longer ruled by anger, you gain something far more valuable than temporary satisfaction. You gain stability. You gain clarity. You gain power over yourself. And in the end, that is the true victory. Not winning arguments, not proving others wrong, but mastering the one thing that determines the quality of your life, your response.